says, "Bitch, you may have beaten me, but you ain't beaten me yet."
I'll basically get all of the seed beds, give it to his body, and then fight him for real.
Basically, or just go kill him. He's basically trying to taunt you into that. Grab it.
Trying to find it. I was looking for it, then I forgot the name of it.
Got it. Only track one down.
Dang, Sullivan's gonna be dead as fuck. Sure.
Oh, damn it. Fuck. Ah. Yo. I need actually Phoenix, I need to do this one.
What you want?
I need your Starlight Shard.
Dang, can't argue with that.
Careful, there is a dragon out there.
Yeah, I know.
Normally you don't, but because we entered his workshop. Yeah.
And I want Starlight Puppet.
So if we just go to the right, he would still be alive before we did all the stuff with the quest line. We could go give the Dung Eater the potion he tried to get us to give to Nephili, and it would allow us to turn the Dung Eater into a puppet. There's a lot of ways to fuck it up. That's one of the more
Raz?
Yeah, dude.
You know it gives you, well, I guess you don't really need it if you have 99 strength. You need the endurance.
Yeah, that I'll do.
Start dumping into endurance and vitality. Make them tank piece of shit.
Yeah, a little more helpful. So I give you the grace that runs all.
Alright, well, he's gone. We're going to that grace.
From each other.
Might be nice.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but you're right.
No, I just realized I was still running the Great Jar Charm when I'm running like not even half of my equip load.
So I don't have.
You don't have the doll. It's not at the little coffin around the corner.
It didn't show it for me until I went home.
Yeah, it didn't do it for me either.
Yeah, I was in the wrong spot. Sorry.
Okay. And then go sit at that grace while you're in your world and talk to them. Didn't she taunt you? Basically, like what? One boogada. Am I pretty? I almost like the fact that you guys see me aggressively pointing at you.
Well, in reality, you're flossing.
Correct.
Alright, roll the dice. And then we go.
Yay, it's on for 7. Hi, Ant. Bye, Ant. I'm fucking Bubble Mitch. Those sword keys, like they're useful still. Just don't
There's
feel
also
as
the
useful.
Clayman ashes over here. If you want them.
To be honest, I see big spider head and I kind of want to kill it, or big spider ant rather.
Ow.
Yeah. Mama hurt.
So do I.
And Jason, we made it. Fuck you for making me work so hard to get here.
Hi, Yuri. Chimera. I mean, they can be 100%. The game definitely scales depending on how many people you have. So it does not make it any easier, really, to have more people. Other than you can bully.
Why you bully me? Yeah, if bosses have poise, then like doesn't fucking
But
matter how many
also,
people
I
are here.
beat the game 3 times now, solo. So what's the point? I like playing games with my friends. I wanna do goofy shit.
It's the winged sword, right? Yeah.
timing dodges. Does blocking really work in this game?
If you have
It's
a
actually-
shield, it's 100%.
It's actually like a promoted mechanic because the guard counters. Like
I don't know.
if you time an attack right after blocking, you get like a boosted damage attack.
Might also be just the type of weapon you're using. Try using faster weapons or, you know.
Yes, this place.
Because, like, if you're going to use a shield to block, usually you want to run, like, something like a faster sword with it, not a big, giant, heavy bonk hammer. Bonk hammer, you want to rock a bunch of heavy armor boys.
Rapier's really good.
Yeah, rapier.
Spear's really good because you can block and still attack.
Trying to use a halberd.
Like halberd.
I don't even know.
Who did it?
Was not.
I did on accident, I'm sorry.
Or I guess I'll lose a third time.
Hi, Red.
Again? I'm coming up behind you.
That's a shield.
I know it
right?
was somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does
What's up,
poison
Sal?
damage.
Welcome back, Snickers. Yes, that's a yes on your arm.
And kaboom.
It's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie.
Oh no, they put masks on. We'll never be able to see their identity.
That black flame said fuck your shield.
Pins. Hey, that's useful. In a world.
Somewhere. Hi, Bopo.
Not this
Good
one.
morning.
Window back here, don't you?
Yeah, there's a chest here, too.
Appreciate that attempt.
Mustard.
Bitch, heal yourself.
But I got yelled at for that. Plus, I'm not the only one that could use some healing.
Yeah, you're right. I'm dying out here.
Not you.
I know.
Not everything is about you.
Yes, it is.
I know in your head it is.
You're lucky because I almost took my heal spell off.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Oh no, I forgot about these boys and their fucking flaccid maces. They're the bomb.
For you. No, you go bed. Go bed. You don't. I don't expect anybody to spend the entire 40 fucking hours awake with me. Let's be honest. Somebody's going to, because he's just as addicted to this video game as I am.
Don't you fucking call me out like that. Oh my god, that was a laggy ass rock. Careful, the rocks have life.
Oh, we can kill the rock. Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
the
could
rock's
heal.
dead.
That fucking hurt.
Not like the way the rock did, right? Yeah, you can respect it.
I mean, you could respect the force. Oh, I think boulder bolt? Oh, it already did. I thought it fell farther in.
That's another max glove work. Good job, team. You
How
did
about the fact
great.
that we just stun locked the boulder?
Right.
I bet you are tired, Yuri.
This door's closed.
What?
Yeah, just go through it.
Yes, because
Goofy movie to doobie.
You can hang out and chat. But, like, you should also, like, sleep at some point, too.
Or you could remember that sleep is for the weak.
Where are we going?
Not just... I wasn't sure what was ahead, so I was stalling for them.
Oh, okay. Well, this is your long weekend to work, Yuri? I'm leaving a thing cold. Hello, Faja.
Opa-cha. Opa-cha.
Good job.
Beat.
My money don't jiggle jiggle, it folds. I like to see you wiggle wiggle, for sure, and make me wanna dribble dribble. You know, riding in my Fiat, you really have to see it. 6'2" in a compact, no slack, but luckily the seats go back. I got a nap to relax in my mind. Some red wine. Nice.
Show love 100.
both ranged and melee characters, and in this video I want to go over the strategies that I found work best for both of those scenarios. If you're playing a ranged character, like if you're using a bow or you're using spells, it can be kind of difficult because he tends to dodge your projectiles, but if you have something like Glintstone Phalanx, for instance, it works really well during this boss fight because he is really aggressive and they tend to dodge into those projectiles really easily. And what's really great about that spell is it allows you to dodge away while hitting him at the same time. So it's a really good spell for this fight, so I highly suggest if you're a mage character you get that. And if you're a bow character, or a ranged character that uses, some other sort of ranged weapon, you're gonna have to learn how to dodge away from his attacks and then fire while he's in his attack animation and fight similarly to the way you would fight if you were doing a melee character. So there are a couple attack patterns that you need to look out for because these are going to be your best openings. The first one is where he drags his claw along the ground and he comes at you and sort of swings upward. Roll away at this moment, he jumps up into the air and plunges down on you. You can actually roll toward him with iframes and get in position to get in a couple of attacks right when he lands if you time this properly. You want to try and punish this attack every time it happens. It's your safest form of damage during this fight. Another combo you want to be on the lookout for is his 3-hit attack, where he does a slash with his sword one way, holds for a second, slashes the other way, and then comes down with a third hit that's overhead and plunges it into the ground. If you can read this attack well, you can actually get in an attack at the end of this, but you have to be careful because sometimes he'll do a leaping fourth attack that he adds on to the end, and if you're not ready for it and you don't have good reflexes, you might get hit by that fourth attack. Regardless whether you're going to attack or not during this attack pattern, you need to learn to read it, because if you charge in when he does just one swipe, you're going to get hit by that second swipe, or if you run in when he does 2 swipes, you're going to get hit by that overhead if you're not paying attention. So if you're not sure what to do, just wait for that drag claw attack and get that opening then if you can. In Phase 2, another really good opening is he'll charge at you with his sword dragging along the ground. You'll see the spark similarly to when he does the claw as well. This is another good opportunity to get in some shots. It's difficult to read when you first see it because you know it's coming, but the timing of the dodge might be a little bit later than you're anticipating. You might have a tendency to dodge a little bit too early and then get hit when the sword comes out of the ground. So make sure you wait till the last minute and then you can punish this attack as well. Other than these few attacks, I highly advise just dodging when he does other attack animations because they can be erratic and harder to time. And if you stick to these ones, you should be alright.
I have beaten all Souls games without dying a single time. Do the math. That's right. 0 deaths. I have done this for years now.
0 deaths. 0 deaths. 0 deaths. 0 deaths. 0 deaths.
I have never died in a video game ever in my life.
0.
0 deaths. 0. 0. People all over the world are amazed by my great gaming skills.
Mad impressive how Pewds got a 0 death run first time playing.
The most impressive thing is that he had 0 deaths.
Wow, I can't believe 0 deaths.
But some people think I'm a liar, and they say my 0 death runs are fake, and that I actually die all the time.
This sort of behavior is completely unacceptable.
Okay, fine. Maybe I die once, maybe twice, maybe 500.
What? No! No, 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 no! What happened? 0! That does not count because my, the girl.
Wow, 0 death is fake, lol.
He is fake. This is no 0 death third studio.
0 deaths? Lies. What shameless clickbait.
But I have decided my days of living like a fraud is over. My name is PewDiePie, and I'm going to beat Elden Ring with 0 deaths. For real this time. Okay. Okay, I may need a plan. But first off, we need to lay some rules.
What are the rules? Who can say the N-word? What are the rules? I really want to say the N.
Rule 1 is obviously 0 death. If game says I die, I die. It's that simple. At least you'd think it'd be that simple. At the very start of the game, before you've done anything, you're greeted by the crafted Skyon boss. It's one of those bosses that is just there to humiliate you. Welcome to the game, you're dead. Congratulations, now you can keep going. Okay, so what if you just try hard enough and kill the boss that you're not supposed to kill in the beginning? Will that be 0 deaths? No, because if you move on further, you literally just fall off a cliff and die. Fine, kill the damn boss again. Don't go in the cliff that collapses. Turns out there's nowhere to go, and the only way to progress is to die. If I have to die here, I might as well just jump off right away anyway, right? But this is clearly a 0 death rule break. The best way to deal with this is the best way to deal with anything in life, which is just get naked and hope for the best. So even though the health bar technically goes to 0, the game doesn't go out of its way to say that you died. Therefore, 0 death run still possible. No, you died, Tex, 0 death applies. That's rule 1. I actually went to double check this because even though you can never see exactly how much health you have, if you open up the status menu and keep it open while he hits you, you actually see your health going down to 1, not 0. So technically what that means is 0 death applies! Rule number 2 is no summons. I think they're a cool addition to the game, but the point of this is for me to beat the game, not my sexy twin, okay? Rule number 3, no fundamentally game-breaking glitches. The wrong warp is a great example. If you rest at the Belfry Tower of Grace and do a little bit of game-breaking, the game will place you in the end game. And you have successfully skipped at least 5 non-optional bosses. So rule break. Last rule, don't use any weapons that are completely broken or overpowered. I will use some cheesy strats, but to completely rely on just seems kind of lame. Okay, so I have the rules, I have the challenge, now I just got to figure out how to execute it. And for the record, I'm not good at these games. And what I was about to find out was that I was even worse than I thought I was. So I made a plan. Step 1, make my weapon as powerful as possible, as quick as possible. That way on the first bosses I can go from doing this to this. Before we continue, I should warn you, I am going to bombard you with information about this game. Things that you may already know or you have not even played this game at all. But I'm going to tell you anyway. The weapon I'll be using is the Moonwell Katana. I know, it's not the best katana in the game, but it does enough damage, and it can do damage on range, which is super useful against some annoying enemies. But my favorite is that it can stagger bosses very easily. Oh, and you can also get it very early, which is necessary. So yeah, for those plebs who don't know, you need Somber Stones to upgrade your weapon, otherwise it's useless. These are scattered all across the map, some being easier to find than others. 1 to 5 is actually pretty easy to find. Some people use the Belfry Tower cheat that I told about earlier to get 8 and 9. I obviously can't do this, but I find you can get them without cheating. They're literally right next to each other, so we're good. This leaves just 6 and 7. In Academy of Rhea Lucaria, there's a secret passageway down under, and if you let mommy eat you, you get teleported to Magma Manor. It should be called that. Okay, I don't care what anyone says. You can easily pick up number 6, and with a little bit of parkour, you can pick up number 7. Bada bing, bada boom, you got the best weapon in the game. Stop! You actually have to die to do that, so I can't do that. So I looked into other methods, and this Falling Star Beast actually drops Summerstone number 6, and it's accessible in the early game. So I started practicing it. I'm not doing 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 it. So instead of worrying about my weapon for now, I started worrying about the last 4 bosses, which is going to be the biggest challenge no matter what. Malekith, Godfrey, Radagon, Elden Beast. If I really wanted to do a zero death playthrough, I knew I needed to master these 4 bosses. The first of the 4 bosses is Beast Clergyman, or Malekith as he transforms into. And on my first playthrough, I actually got him on the first try.
First try. I guess that wasn't technically first try, now I think about it. I rolled off.
Fucking The thing is, on this playthrough I was heavily relying on my summon to tank all the damage. I had spent about 80 hours in the game, and I was much higher level. And without all that, I couldn't even make it to phase 2. And once I finally made it to phase 2, it was like a punch in the face. All his attacks comes out of nowhere. He flies all over the place. Everything kills me at an instant. Even if I know an attack is coming, I don't know how to dodge it. This fucking thing that he does took me so long to figure out how to dodge. And every time I fail, I had to redo phase 1 just to practice phase 2. Once I finally beat him once, I was done. I was ready to move on practicing another boss. Coming up next was Godfrey, the first Elden Lord, and I gotta come clean about something here, guys. Before the boss, you might notice there's a bunch of blood pools of people dying. This is because people try and jump this pillar. What happens is, if you do it successfully, then stand in the right spot and quit out the game. Once the game loads up again, you'll have run into the boss room without activating the boss, and you can literally just run past him. However, this never worked for me, no matter how many times I tried it. I think it has something to do with my computer, but honestly, I'm really glad it didn't. This jump, it's just a stupid risk because it's easy to mess up, and I'd be skipping one of the coolest bosses in the game. Unlike Malekith, Godfrey still hits hard, but his moves are pretty easy to predict. And this time I used a different approach of just timing myself and not trying to kill him, just to see how long I could stay alive. I quickly went from less than a minute to 2 minutes to then even 4 and beyond. And I finally rebuilt some confidence that I had lost from Malekith. I was then ready to move on to the last 2 bosses, Radagon and the Elden Beast. And guess what? I got my ass handed to me again. Radagon is really tough. His moves are either super fast or super slow, and it seems to be impossible to determine what he's gonna do. And if you mess up just once, you lose your tempo, and then it's easy to mess up again. And it's not until you finally beat Radagon that the Elden Beast will show up. I actually thought I was doing okay on this until you pull out the most bullshit move in the entire game, which is the chasing star things. You have to keep running away from them to dodge them, but he'll keep attacking you like normal. I can't see what the hell is going on, and every time he did it, I would just die. I felt the learning curve harder than ever here. I had spent about a week and a half, and by now I knew exactly what I needed to do to beat this game with zero death. But it turned out to be so much harder and so much more work than I had initially anticipated. There's so many bosses that I hadn't even tried at this point. There was still the Fire Giant, Godskin Duo, Rykard, and Morgoth, just to name a few. I kept thinking I should just give up. But the thing about these games is that the more you play them, the better you get. And the better you get, the more fun they are to play. I just kept coming back. I try to not worry too much about the goal of zero death at this point, and practice every boss just a tiny bit. And even at times I didn't think I could improve, I was still coming back stronger every time. These games get a lot of flack for being too difficult, but it's also very clear that the game wants you to learn. There's a way to respond to everything there is in the game. It's just about finding out what that is, and once you do, you feel like you're the boss instead. It's a little cringe, but I felt like I was finally getting there. So it was time for me to do my first live attempt. I've been playing Elden Ring. I'm here to beat the game with zero deaths. For real. Oh gosh, what do I do? Fuck. Well, it was a good try. I failed after 30 minutes because I aggroed an enemy by mistake. Attempt 2, it actually did pretty well. I had managed to stay alive for about 3 hours at this point and made it to the Fire Giant. I quit out the boss 2 times and failed 2 times to do so, and it was getting very anxious. I have never missed so much in my entire life. Let me leave. That's not good. The fail quit that I got as well. That is not good, but I have the thing. It's fine. The built-up pressure after 3 hours is something that I had not anticipated, and I just totally failed. I hate this boss! On a side note, I've seen some of the dumbest takes ever about Elden Ring's UX and UI, but I think we can all agree on that no one wants this text window to appear when you're jumping up on your horse. It looks like you're about to die here. Are you sure you want to jump up on your horse? Yes or no? If you don't answer, you're dead. If you do answer, you're dead. Yes, I want to enter the goddamn horse! What do you think? I can blame the game all I want, but the truth is I played terribly. On attempt 3, I was back on the Fire Giant. I had practiced him a lot now, but there was one attack that he did that I wasn't really sure how to dodge, and it's when he blows fire out of his mouth. And of course, he does it the last goddamn second. You know I'm pissed off when the Swede comes out. Spoilers, I kept dying. Jesus. I might die. I might die. We're okay. We're okay. Okay, that's the worst part. Are you serious? Oh, I did it. Oh, God. No! What? Ah, number 2. Oh, what?
You fucking baby bitch.
I had spent all my time and effort worrying about the hardest bosses. What am I doing? So not practicing the easy ones meant I kept making dumb mistakes. This meant having to redo runs that I had spent between 2 to 3 hours on. And not to mention all the random death that seemed to keep happening. I got stuck somehow. I just couldn't seem to get it. And every time I failed, I wasn't just disappointed in myself, but it also felt like I disappointed everyone watching. I wanted to do one attempt where I do it offline so I could just focus on the game, and at least then I can show you guys everything I have to redo every time I die. I'll warn you, it'll be a lot, but I want to be thorough with it, because that's what I would want if I watched it. So if you're ready, here we go. I use Samurai class just because it has good base stats with the weapon I want to use. Pick the greatest name of all time, then Golden Seed as starting item, just for the extra heal. Sorry about the awkwardness of me sitting in the dark. I just thought people would question if this was my footage otherwise. I know I'm supposed to let him hit me, but I can't help but fight back a little bit. Grab this bonfire because we're coming back to it in like 2 hours. I still call them bonfire, whatever, great. Grab this bonfire, then we get our horse after she creeps on us. Why, yes, I am 12. Hit this guy, very important. It's like the shortest bonfire distance ever, but we are coming back here in like an hour. We cross the bridge and then we find our first somber smithing stone. I am aware you can just buy these, but all of them are in the route that I have. I feel like I might as well just pick them up. It doesn't matter. Then we run over to the first dungeon in the game. It's like the first dungeon, and they put a trap to put you in the end game for players that just stumble upon this chest. It's so mean. And you can't even teleport out if you get here. Anyway, it's good for us because we don't have to run as far. I was supposed to stealth out of here, but I kind of messed it up and almost died. But we're fine. We can get back on our horse Torrent and start running. This swamp is great because we find our spell and staff that we need to kill our first boss in order to get our actual weapon. Rock Sling and then the Meteorite staff. Grab this bonfire nearby because we need to head north, but later on we'll head south. And on the way, what's that? Number 4, baby. That's right. It's almost like we don't have to buy them. We keep going north to head to one of the caves. I hate this tunnel. You saw me die here earlier. But anyway, here's number 2. Yeah, just pick it up. It's literally on the way. Why not? Okay, so here's the scary bit. You could grab these ruins if you want, but the most important thing is the golden foot that's down here. They literally come at you all at once. Don't panic. Keep running. Keep running. Keep running. Honestly, it's not even that bad of a part, but losing 10 minutes, this kind of sucks. And the fact that I've died here before just makes you way more nervous when you're doing it. Don't judge me too hard on this, alright? I need to kill Alexander to get his talisman. His talisman is really good. It makes your weapon skill even better. If you don't want to kill him, you can do his quest line, and he gives you a better version of the talisman. But we don't have time for that, so just killing him is the only way. I'm sorry! Conveniently, the back of this cage goes exactly where we want to go. Gotta kill that wolf, very important. It's the third Church of Marika. We get our sacred tear and our first physics drink. You might have seen this trick already where there's a secret portal hidden right behind it. Now we've basically gone even deeper into Caelid, the area from earlier. Here we pick up a golden seed, which is great, and a starlight shard. We need that for a boss later. Am I explaining too much? Whatever. If we run down the hill, we see our first boss, the Knight's Cavalry, and this trick is actually really cool. This boss is clearly too high level for us, but you can trick him to jump towards you, which makes him fall off the bridge and die, which is always hilarious and super satisfying. But it's also very easy to get stuck or just mess up.
The amount of weird shit he's doing, what the fuck?
So I learned this trick from one of you guys in the chat, and it's even funnier. So basically, you make him follow you all the way up the way you came, and all this poison clans will hit him. So I immediately thought this trick had something to do with the poison. And as soon as you enter the top of the hill and he followed you the entire way there, he'll eventually teleport back to where he spawns. And then you'll just see the text saying that he died. It's so confusing. No one had a good answer to why they thought this happened. First, we thought it was the poison that maybe killed his horse, and the horse dies, so when he teleports back, he falls off the horse and dies. But someone made a really good point, which is the fact that these games are optimized to not load in things that you're not looking at. And when we're on top of the hill, we're not looking down on the bridge anymore. So once he teleports back to the bridge, he's teleporting back into nothing, and he just falls and dies. I love that theory, and I think it's true, actually. I just wish I could see it. I know this is a very cheesy strat, but it's too good not to use. We also get Bloodhound Step, which is super essential for later, and 42 big ones. Hell yeah. There's actually 3 things we need from this bonfire, but they're all in different directions, so it's a bit awkward on what we do first. Spend a few points leveling up. Then we're gonna kill the old paralyzed dragon. This is everyone's favorite part. It's so funny because people enter the stream here and they don't know what's going on, and people are just so confused why I'm hitting a fucking blob for 5 minutes. As you can see, we do practically no damage, but our weapon luckily has bleed on it, so whenever that hits, it does a ton of damage. So eventually he goes down. It just takes a while. Before he dies, we pop the golden foot that we got earlier for that extra XP. Then we're off to the round table hold for the first time. The reason we're here is to activate Bloodhound Step, which we got earlier. We then teleport back to the swamp area, but this time we're heading south instead. There's the Starlight Shard. Get the Rotten Breast spell. Back to the third Church of Marika, and now we're heading south instead. You can pick up these crystal tears. They're not really that good, but they're on the way. Why not? Same thing with this merchant. He's on the way. He sells sleeper arrows. We don't necessarily need that many, but he's right there. He's on the way. It don't matter. We're heading to this castle. That's where we really want to go. Before we enter, we pick up this golden seed. So yeah, this is the spot where you saw me die earlier because there's a Blood Knight or something up here on the left. And since I died here before, I'm always super nervous running up, seeing if he follows me or not. He is, but he's way too slow, so we're totally fine. Up here, we find the first half of the medallion, which is necessary to progress in the game. And I decided to sacrifice my runes to get out of there. It's just not worth it. And we're back to finish up the last two things that we need by this bonfire. First, we're heading down. If you remember earlier when I was talking about Somberstone 8 and 9, this is where you get them. So this one drops number 8. The best way to deal with them is just push him off the cliff. I love doing it. I don't have to do this parkour jump. It's very easy, but it still makes me nervous because if I mess up, I technically die. And again, it's not a speed run, but I don't know. It'd be kind of lame to just run around the whole goddamn thing. Down here is a rune arc, which we'll definitely need later, but it's also, most importantly, Somberstone number 9, as you can see. This Somberstone is not on the Elden Ring wiki, by the way, so there you go. Super cool. And then we teleport back to the same bonfire as last time. This time, though, we're heading into the castle behind there, where we find the other half of the medallion from earlier. Betty-boo. But wait, we're not done here. We're actually heading deeper in. I've learned my lesson to use Bloodhound Step here. Get right on Sword Seal with a great talisman, and then we're off. Back to Limgrave. Get the star shard. Get the bona fide. We'll come back here later. The next 30 minutes is pretty much just running around, and as boring as that is, I always feel really good being here. Because there's pretty much nothing that can kill us for a very long time, so I get to breathe out a little bit here. You have to stab this wolf. Church of Irit, get that tier. We're picking up whatever upgrades we can on the way, you know. We're running the secret pass to skip the first 2 bosses. We'll come back when we're a bit stronger. Grab the bond, we'll come back here. Through the portal again. I've died from this stupid jump, so it gives me anxiety every time. Pick up some runes because we're a pickup gang like that. We get the key and then we get the fuck out. Hey, remember how I said there's no more scary bits anymore? Well, I forgot to kill a boss, so we have to go back here. Just setting up and then we're good to go. I used to hate this boss because he's easy to mess up, and at this point you spent 30 to 40 minutes that you don't want to redo. Trust me. His attacks are super slow. You can stagger him with rock sling. Unless he pulls out some surprises, which he definitely can. He's not that bad. See, he charged me there, but I was lucky with a stagger. And we got our Moonwell, baby. I felt so confident here. It felt really good. Now we can continue the stuff that we need to do by the lake. First, we head east and we pick up a talisman. We get the talisman and then we head back. Now it's time to do the Magma Manor quest. Sword! We just need to get a necklace back from this lobster dude. You just gotta pay him 1,000 runes and then we're done with the quest. And now we can progress. This is the area that we needed a key for. We'll come back here. There's a secret merchant down this way. He sells the same sleeper arrows that we got earlier, just way more of them. Now we head through the other gate. Another church, another upgrade. We need to go to the giant structure on the right. But before we do that, we can pick up number 3. That's right, pick up game. Pick up the bonfire and then we head through the other gate. This is why we grabbed the 2 medallion parts earlier, because otherwise you're not allowed to pass. Posture Girl can now get us to Magma Manor. Get that bonfire. Join the Mama family. Secret door, you probably know about it. Sneak gang. I love this area. I think it's the coolest looking in the game. We have some parkour to do here. It's super easy, but I'm always so nervous because if I mess it up, I will die, so. That Bloodhound step is coming very handy right now. Just surfing the lava waves is whatever. No big deal. So yeah, now we're finally where I was talking about earlier, where you can get all the stones very easily. We're still way too low level to be here, so you gotta be a little bit careful. Number 5, pickup game. Alright guys, don't judge me, okay? At this point, I will have the best weapon, and I feel confident I can easily kill this boss. The thing is, I don't have to. I can just cheese him. Why not? Okay, why not? Why risk it? It's a bullshit boss, I don't care. Now think about it, I definitely have enough arrows to just sneak him anyway, so. And then if you do this ritual before you enter, you can glitch him out and just smack his ass as much as you want. He ain't gonna do it. And I swear it's more fun doing this than actually trying the boss, so. 0 death! Yeah! I forgot, we haven't picked up 7 yet. Just a little bit of parkour. Got on the first try. Everything looking good. Oh, fuck. Okay, don't judge me. Listen, this is not a rule break. I can quit out. I try to not do it because it basically makes enemies not aggro on you. People use it all the time in speedruns and stuff like that. It's a little lame, but fuck, I'm not restarting an hour just because he randomly grabs me, okay? Lame? Sure. Rule break? No. Zero death? Yes. So we take the elevator from the boss room again. Oh, I love this area. It looks so good with the lava, but I'm always scared running it. I hate running past this Iron Maiden and I get stuck. Trying to not freak out, but we made it in fine. It's alright. A little bit more running and we find the portal to Rykard's boss room. We're not going to fight him right away. In fact, we're going to go back to the very start. Oh yeah, we can almost max out our weapon now, which is pretty damn sweet. I love clicking these. Sorry, now we head back. It's a little annoying we have to deal with this invasion event, but we also get to try out our new weapon, so it's kind of fun too. Head into the cage nearby, meet the best character in the game, and I kill him by mistake. Oops. Luckily, we can still buy his items over here. I'm so glad we have this feature. He sells 3 golden foot, which is amazing, and Margot's shackle, which is great for the boss. Now, finally, it's time to slash the first boss tanks. Seeing how much I struggled on this boss the first time, it feels so damn good every single time to do this amount of damage on him. You dead. And we get a talisman pouch, so now we can add our Radagon seal finally. You take more damage if you wear it, but you also gain more health and you deal more damage. I feel like the cost is pretty good. I'll come back to that one. It's time to enter the castle and you get to go either the secret route or the main gate, but the main gate is by far superior. I always wonder why people kill him. Apparently he steals your runes, so... This part is super easy because we have Bloodhound Step, otherwise it's a pain in the neck. So, it's around 12 o'clock for me here, so I decided to take a break. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but I was tired. Day 2, baby. And if it's not obvious that I took a break here, I forgot that I hadn't beaten the boss yet, so I'm running into this area that I can't progress in yet. So yeah, after running all the way, here's when I realized, oh yeah, I haven't done the boss. Oops. So I had to go back all the way to this boss, just because the game didn't save my bonfire for whatever reason. Alright, so we have to run deeper into the castle, and we have to run past all these guards. It's just quicker that way, and honestly, I think it's less risk just trying to run past them. But to be honest, running this bit, even with Bloodhound Step, is really scary, because it's just such a mess. You have the crossbows and everything just shooting at you. Just keep running, keep running, keep running. There's the elevator here that we need to grab. A dog snuck in and I hate them, but thankfully we have the moonwheel, so no problem. Up we go. Next up is Godric, and I actually think he's easier than the boss we just fought, just because he's a bit more scripted. So he does certain moves when his health is at a certain point, but honestly any boss is easy when we have this weapon at this point. You know, this guy talks a lot for being dead. Now we have to do the run that I did by mistake earlier. It takes a while, but it's definitely worth it. I can't believe I played the entire game the first time without even knowing about this. Godric's Great Rune, baby. To use it, we have to activate a rune art that we collected earlier. Except I'm a goddamn idiot. I've done this mistake so much times. We have to equip the rune first. Luckily, we can just buy it off the old ladies. It's okay. Alright, activate the rune this time. It makes it so that all our stats are increased by 5, which is insane. The cost is that if you die, you lose this ability. But lucky for us, we have no intentions of doing that. Coolest boss room and maybe even boss in the entire game coming up. We are way too low level for this boss, but you get this weapon, which basically makes him into easy mode. Finally, we use our Starlight Shard. They give you mana over time. It's so we don't have to worry about drinking during the fight because we're not going to have any time to do that except using this attack over and over and over. It's very cheesy. I think it's fine. This is a gimmick boss after all. the thing is, I cannot make any mistakes. If I miss my timing with half a second, there's enough time for him to attack me and instantly kill me. But as long as I'm spamming this attack over and over, he can't really do anything. So this looks super simple, but it is a high risk pulling this off with 0 deaths at least. My Starlight Shard eventually runs out, so the only time I have to drink is right here when he gets staggered. Then I can finish him off again. He's dead, but not yet, so I used my second Starlight Shard before phase 2. Same thing, except now I have to move backwards a tiny bit between every strike that I do. I can't go too far because then I'll miss, and if I miss, I'll die. But I can't go too close because then the lava will hit me, and if I hit the lava, I die. So it's a bit of a dance, which keeps it interesting, but it is what it is. And he's dead. Using the gold foot here, and we get ourselves a shit ton of runes. Almost 200k just from that. God damn. Hey, remember this area? Well, now we can actually progress through this area without talking to the lady.
Might I bend your ear for a
Mainly,
moment,
we're just
please?
gonna have to run around here, grab some random items where we can find them. There's a ton of upgrades in this area.
The servants there have rebelled.
Just
I
gotta
can't
watch
be
out
sure
for
what
these
it is.
trebuchet
My
catapults. They will
eyesight's been
instantly
weak
kill you.
since
It's
birth,
always
you
scary
see.
running past
But
stuff
I
like this,
swear
even
I
though
heard
the risk is
frightful
low.
howling from all
So
over.
we're not quite inside
My
yet.
good
We just need to
father
enter one more
secreted
level
me
of
at the
walls.
castle, but decided
Morgan
himself to
returns
stay.
here for the second time. I
He
think it's a
says it's
secret
his
boss,
duty.
and it's really not
commander.
necessary to kill him. He's just in my path that I'm going through anyway, and he drops a decent talisman, so whatever, I'll kill him. 2 golden seeds, and then 2 more right after. We're now ready to enter the city. But first, we gotta kill this tree sentinel boss that guards the gate. There's no way to enter without killing him, so we sneak up behind him. And I don't know if you guys remember the talisman that we grabbed earlier. It basically just makes it possible for us to use the Rotten Breath. It's super overpowered with this spell. It does damage over time, and I think it takes half his health if we just decide to run away. So you can just use the Rotten Breath, wait a couple minutes, and then do the same thing again, but that's just kind of lame. I know how to kill this guy. Like here, for example, I can just run away and he will die eventually, but I decided to have some fun with it. He is really fun to play with, this boss. You just dodge this one later than you think, and it's actually super easy to dodge. I decided to finish him up here. And now we can proudly run into the city, making it somewhat towards the end game. We'll be coming back here later. This jump is easy, but it makes me anxious. Get naked here for the aesthetic. No, it's just so I can jump these roofs easier. It definitely helps to be naked when you're doing that. Now we can just run past the guards. It shouldn't be any problem. It's kind of funny how much time I spent in the city the first time, and then you just blast through everything. Dude, I love this area. Running up the Dragon's Wing is so cool. This game is insane. There's just a shit ton of running here. There's not much to say about it. There's not much to worry about either. Nothing really pops out of nowhere to kill you. And I always forget this boss. I don't know why. It's an identical boss to Godfrey, except it's way easier. I think since it's easier, it's actually kind of harder in a weird way. He's slower, so the tempo that I'm used to practicing is way off. And if he hits me with a 1-2, I'm dead, so I always try and be way more careful than I need to be. And dead, baby. Another talisman pack, nice. Now we can wear Radagon again. I need my stats to be a certain level at this point. I can't do too much damage on this boss because it breaks my entire flow that I have set up for him. You'll see now. He will enter and then just leave right away. We'll use Margaret's Shackle that we got from the bald guy that I killed by accident. And if you use it outside the boss room, you basically, It's not a cheat. It's just a little cool magic trick. Yeah. So as long as I don't hit him directly, he will just keep staying there until his health bar goes to around 50%. And before we allow that to happen, we'll blow rotten breath right in his fucking face. This is the last boss that I will cheese. I promise. I promise. Don't judge me. I feel like I could kill him easily anyway, right? Yeah. I have died on him before, so I'm always nervous. Luckily, I have enough mana to use my Bloodhound step. I didn't use it there for whatever reason. All I have to do now is stay alive and don't get hit.
Wake up, Jamie. You're up late, man. You're supposed to be up 2 hours ago.
Even though I cheesed it, I'm still hyped about it. Fucking got him. Give the tree a little sniff. Talk to Queef Lady. Unfortunately, I gotta do this jump again. I hate doing it. It's worth it. And phew, we're fine. Now we're heading this way instead to the elevator that we just got access to. Sneak gang. There's a fire rest talisman here for the fire generator, which I wish I knew about a long time ago. We just gotta make it across this bridge, and then we're off to the winter area. Winter area? Snow area. But not without humiliating this guard. I don't have to kill him. It's just fun, okay? Down we go. Even the most baby level of jumps makes me nervous at this point. After 2 hours of meticulously trying to not die, everything makes me anxious. Going up the grand elevator. First time I played through this game, I got clear blue skies and this area looked incredible. It's really cool to play this game again and see how it changes, just based on the weather being different. As much as I hate bridges, I gotta admit this bridge looks goddamn good, man. I don't know why this area feels so barren. There's just so much running through they have to do. I'm pretty sure I don't need any more of those. Past the ice lake, ignore the dragon, find the church. Oh yeah, this is the best. Marisa comes in. Look how focused I am. She comes in and waves Maya in my face, making her kick me as a joke. Anyway, this side is fun. But clearly not at the time. Jesus Christ, look at my face. I'm so focused. This area is so cool. Rip Bird. After about 15 minutes of running, we finally make it to the fire giant. But before we deal with him, there's a really important item that I want to grab. Not that either. I really don't like this area, so I can just run through it, but it's way safer for me to just deal with all of these one by one. Here's the item that I want. It's the bubble tier. It's for the last boss when he uses the chasing stars. It makes it so that I get healed instead of taking damage from it. Complete game changer. So as risky as it is to try and grab it, it's definitely worth it. Now, I'm ready for my arch nemesis, the fire giant. Put on that fire resistance and let's go. Since I fail him so many times, there's nothing he can throw at me at this point. I know exactly how to deal with this dude. Get the stagger, keep tickling his toes. Just gotta watch out for his balls. This is very risky, but I knew I could trigger phase 2 quick. This is so satisfying. I get to blow run breath right in his fucking face. Eat shit. So my new strategy is to use Rock Sling from earlier until he staggers. And I get it right away. I was like, yeah, got you. Slice his face open. All I have to do now is stay alive. There it is, baby. 0 dips! And I used a golden foot, one of my last 2, for that extra XP. Felt so goddamn good. We commit the cardinal sin of touching an unwedded maiden, and now we're in the goddamn endgame. So much work to not even get to the hardest bosses yet. Oh hey, Summerstone 9, I really need that. Yeah, thanks. Now it's time for the Godskin duo. I used to think they were the hardest boss in the game, but we have a trick for it. But first, we gotta go back to the very first bonfire that we grabbed. Told you we'd be back here in 2 hours. It really doesn't look like it, but you can jump down here totally fine without dying. And we find another golden foot, another secret hidden merchant. Just taking this chance to sell off everything I've collected so far. Very minimalist playthrough, I know. Most importantly, the bow that he sells is what we need. It's on, baby. I love this fight. So try and get 3 arrows in right away, and I get the sleeping effect. Get another arrow in right away on this second guy. Start slapping him and do as much damage as possible before he wakes up. And I gotta put a lot of trust that this stagger happens, and it does. He's dead. Now I gotta deal with his friend in the exact same way as before. Get the bleed, back off. Get the stagger. You're dead, son. Now it gets a little tricky, because I have to sleep the chubby guy really fast. For some reason, I think he has more health the second time he spawns. I don't know what's up with it, but it means that I have to start attacking him while the animation of him falling asleep is still happening. Otherwise, I don't have enough time to kill him. Everything's working out perfectly here. I knew I had this boss. Now I just gotta finish up that slim guy. For some reason, I took it very carefully here, and it meant I got hit twice. But, yeah, it's fine. He's dead. It don't matter. Going to struggle so much on a boss to then just have complete control is so satisfying. I know some people think using the sleeper arrows is a cheesy way to beat them. It's a complete bullshit boss without it. I don't mind using them for even a second. Moving on, we have some of the worst running that I have to do in the game, and it's always fun to do that at the very end stage, isn't it? It's this area with the birds. It's just awful. If you played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Luckily, Bloodhound Step coming in with the clutch for the last time. I would not be able to do this without it. I would have to quit out constantly otherwise. I don't know. It's just so bad. The dragon keeps spamming these lightning attacks and you're just hoping something doesn't hit you. He blows his fucking breath on me too. Like, great, thanks a lot. Eventually he just disappears though, so it's fine. And I get to grab the last Somber Stone in the game. Finally we get to max out. They really want you to die here, don't they? Bloodhound Step here as well. So good. And then we take the elevator up to what I think is the hardest boss, Malekith. But first we gotta max out our weapon, of course. Always feels good. Ignoring my poker face, my adrenaline is running high here, man. This is the furthest I've gotten ever with these playthroughs. Malekith is my barrier. It's this weird dance that I have to do him because I want to make him staggered on phase 2. I build it up slowly by keep attacking him in phase 1, but I can't do it too fast because then it triggers too early, and I can't do it too slow because then I'm screwed. But everything is just going perfectly here. That was so fucking clean. I decided to commit. This fucker's going down. He's about to do the double spinny attack. It's so fast, and if anything hits me, I'm dead. Use my absolute last resources, and I get another last stagger. I'm so fucking hyped. First time in 2 hours I show any form of emotion. This is the furthest I've ever gotten. And I really didn't have to do this, but I knew there was a health talisman down here, and I figured, hey, if I'm gonna do this, I might as well go all out. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't shitting myself trying to make this jump. So unnecessary, dude. Next up is Gideon. I haven't really spoken about him because he's supposed to be the easiest boss in the...
In this Elden Ring beginner... Guide, I'll share with you my top tips for getting started, including things I wish I knew sooner. Keep in mind, Elden Ring is a very big and very complex game, so this guide will give you a short crash course on things to be on the lookout for, rather than go into in-depth mechanics and spoilers. Few things affect your playthrough as much as character creation, since your starting class determines what equipment you can use right out of the gate. Let's begin here before getting into other topics that will make your playthrough go a bit more smoothly. The first boss of the game starts strong with a complex character creator. But do not fret, you can change your appearance, name, and gender soon after starting the game as many times as you want. You will not, however, be able to change your class and keepsake, so these are important early choices. Elden Ring classes are simply starting points, but starting equipment is not found as easily, so you should pick something that best represents your game style. My personal favorites are Astrologer, Samurai, and Confessor. The Astrologer is a mage build with easy range that will give you lots of room to breathe. The Samurai has good armor and a wicked katana. The Confessor can be turned into a paladin for your faith strength combos. If you are lost, make good use of our builds page, as we'll be publishing multiple starter builds right away. For keepsake, you'll want to pick the Golden Seed, Lands Between Rune, or Stonesward Key. The Health Talisman is an easy pickup not long into the game, and the other items aren't really worth it. If you want more details on this, you can check out our character creation guide on our YouTube channel. The game gives you several early tutorials to introduce you to controls and the basics of multiplayer mechanics. If you're new to the Souls games in general, you'll want to pay attention. You can read all these tips in your inventory under Info, so don't be too worried if you miss something. To set the tone of the game, you first need to obtain a few vital items. Hit the Site of Grace at your starting point, Stranded Graveyard, and then the one outside the first step, and run directly north to Church of Ella. The merchant here has 3 main items you'll want. Buy the torch, crafting kit, and telescope as soon as you can. Then head over to Gatefront Ruins by following the Grace, and you'll meet Melina and obtain Torrent, your mount. Be sure to get the Whetstone Knife item that allows you to slot Ashes of War in your weapon as well inside the ruins, since this no longer occurs automatically. You can now begin exploring Limgrave at your own pace, but make sure to return to Church of Ella after you've made some progress and rest at the Site of Grace there, as this will unlock a conversation with Renna that gives you Lone Wolf Ashes and the Spirit Calling Bell, which you will need to use Spirit Ashes in the game. You can now begin to follow our game progress route to get things done with some direction. That wiki page will be vital to your efforts, so make sure to bookmark it. If you're new to Souls, there's a lot to unpack on the depth of the combat, and you can read about it and status effects, etc. on our wiki pages. For this guide, we'll focus on some essential tips to keep you alive. These are gear, tactics, and mount. For gear, you'll want to get equipment that suits your build or playstyle and is easy to pick up. Our build guides have recommended pickup locations for good gear, but you can also sort this out yourself by opening our equipment page and using the comparable tables, then fighting items that are near you. Basic recommendations are to get the brass shield from the guards in Gatefront Ruins, as it has 100% physical block, and the Demi-Human Queen Staff from Weeping Peninsula's Demi-Human Forest Ruins. If you sword and shield, get the Barricade Shield from the Knights Cavalry and Weeping Peninsula. For any class, Ash of War Glintstone Phalanx is amazingly useful, and you can check the wiki for its location. For tactics, it's best not to approach groups of enemies full on. Always check the corners and ceilings when exploring catacombs and ruins, as you will find enemies waiting in ambush hidden at clever angles. Expect the unexpected, or you'll get ganged up on and killed by a mob. You can pick to play stealthy and backstab stronger enemies, or hit them and run away until they lose aggro and then return to finish them off. You should do whatever feels like matches you best, so think creatively, and if you get stuck, consider coming back later or rethink your gear, Ashes of War, and spells. You should also experiment with the many consumables available to apply damage effects to your weapons, throw bombs at enemies, or boost your own defenses. Your mount is a very important part of combat, and many encounters, particularly dragons, are best done mounted. Magic users should note that even if you're locked on, your spells will fire in the direction you are facing, so you have to be looking towards enemies to hit them. Everyone needs to make good use of Torrent's Sprint to get out of enemy range, but be mindful that this consumes stamina. The most important combat mount tip is, if you're fighting mounted, your weight doesn't matter. This means even if you're a mage, if you're on Torrent, you can equip the heaviest armor in your inventory and move at the same speed. This is indispensable for avoiding damage in many encounters, so make full use of it when fighting Knights Cavalry, Dragons, and any mount-friendly boss. Elden Ring is a game that heavily rewards exploration. Don't leave any specific location unchecked. Some general tips for this are: Stonesward Key Imp Gates. These gates require a Stonesward Key. There are many of these around, so be sure to purchase any you see from vendors. Catacombs have Ghost and Grave Glovewort, which are used to upgrade your Spirit Ashes. You'll also find more Spirit Ashes within these sections that usually have traps and puzzles to solve. Catacomb puzzles are solved in one of these ways. A. Gain access to a different floor, either by finding a ladder, jumping on top of fire, and standing traps to rise with them, or dropping under elevators. B. Access a secret area. Some catacombs have illusory walls that you must hit to reveal a hidden path. Caves and tunnels usually have special equipment and ore. You'll find most lifts have midway drop-off points that guide you to some special equipment. Whenever you see a tunnel, make sure you go in and gather as many upgrade materials as are available. Towers and rises have magic and magic equipment. Many will give you memory slots, which are indispensable for mages. Towers feature several puzzles, including finding wise beasts, turtle spirits that are hidden around the area and sometimes clinging to walls, trees, or even cliffs. Other puzzles require you to do a gesture, so make sure to collect the gestures. Lastly, you may be told that something guides the way. This is a hint that there is an invisible platform. Pay very close attention to nearby cliffs and look for misty signals of a possible way on what could be air. Militia camps can have good equipment and spells, so make sure to clear them out when you find them rather than ride by. The same goes for forts and similar larger structures. Oftentimes there are quests associated with these, or you receive key materials. You can run by any large boss or section that you feel you're not ready for. Find a nearby Site of Grace and summon some help if you need. Be aware that if you get dismounted while exploring, you're about to be invaded by an NPC. Some of these encounters can be very difficult, so always make sure to unlock every Site of Grace when you see them. The game doesn't give you any firm guidance on what to do or where to go. You get hints from NPC dialogue and item descriptions, so this is where you need to focus to plan your progression. Even with this, you will find yourself roaming about wondering if this is where you should be, as the game has areas with noticeable difficulty spikes. As mentioned before, your best bet is to book our game progress route, as it will evolve to include all NPC side quests and such. That said, your immediate aim should be to do Limgrave, Weeping Peninsula, and Stormhill before heading into Stormvale Castle. From here, you should go north to Lurnia of the Lakes. If you get stuck, revisit NPCs and trigger their dialogue to find out where they tell you to go, or read the descriptions in your key items inventory. If all else fails, the wiki is always there. This is a massive game with multiple branching paths and many secret locations that can only be accessed by NPC and quest progression. Avoid being overwhelmed by it by approaching the game methodically and not rushing from one zone to the next or skipping dialogue. For your character, remember that upgrades outpace leveling. Putting more points into your stats without upgrading your weapons will yield subpar results. Gather upgrades from both your spirit summons and weapons and improve your chosen armaments often and diligently. You should also focus your stats. Spreading them about does not help, and you'll not be able to respec until after the main boss of the Legacy Dungeon in Lurnia of Lakes, which is estimated at level 50+. Upgrade Vigor, Endurance, and your main weapon stat, which should be Strength, Dexterity, Faith, or Intelligence only. Upgrade materials are not hard to come by, and a special smith in Western Lurnia of the Lakes sells several. You can also find bell bearings to give you to the Twin Maiden Husks and unlock purchases of all upgrade materials. For your weapons, you can freely change affinity to optimize their scaling to your desired stats and apply skills that are useful in combat. There is no best weapon or best armor, but many pieces have special effects. We have made a list of equipment with special effects that you can find on the wiki, and will help you determine which individual pieces to match to optimize your damage output. Elden Ring has some of the most complex NPC questlines in the Souls series. This is mostly because the game is so large and non-linear that it's very easy to miss a step on their progress or advance the main quest past the point where they can be found. It is prudent to keep track of their whereabouts, talk to them whenever possible, and revisit old areas after major plot points. If an NPC disappears or dies, you can find their equipment and bell bearing at their corpse, or their stock may directly appear with the Twin Maiden Husks at the Round Table Bowl. You can also advance your magic progress by giving scrolls to an NPC in Lurnia of the Lakes who doesn't have a death flag. If you anger an NPC or commit some sin, there is an absolution mechanic that can also be found at the same NPC at the Church of Vows and Eastern Lurnia of the Lakes. There is a lot more to learn to master Elden Ring, and there are so many tips that I can't possibly fit them all into one video. If you have your own tips to share, make sure to do so in the comments. Or head over to the wiki and help the community by editing and adding information about the game. Also, make sure to check out our Elden Ring review and character creation and builds that we have coming out as well.
Sin. See, the world is like a set of operations. Things are born, but eventually they'll die. Then more things will be born, only to die soon after. That's just the way the world works. But Gwyn broke the laws of the world by rekindling the first flame. It was meant to be extinguished, but due to Gwyn wanting to hold on to what he held dear, he couldn't dare see it go. He sacrificed himself by using himself as kindling for the first flame. Since he had one of the 4 original Lord Souls that came from the first flame, it was deemed sufficient enough to be used as fuel, and thus the Gauge of Fire continued. But as we know, it is fading once more. The undead curse is back, humans are turning hollow, and the world is in chaos. Doesn't this sound like a fantastic story? That's because it is. This intro and even the game display a sense of desperation within our characters. How far are people willing to go to get what they want or keep what they have? And while each of their desires is different, it always comes out the same. Dark Souls 1 is just the start, but the actions of its characters will continue to echo throughout the entire trilogy, and we're just getting started. After the opening cinematic, we get to see the state of the world as it is today, or at least the state of this prison. We're an undead that is sitting in their cell awaiting the end of the world. But one day we're given the key to our cell and are able to leave. This person is Oscar, and he speaks of prophecy.
There's an old saying in my family. Those who are undead are children. In our exodus from the undead asylum, maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. And now ringeth the bell of awakening.
This prophecy also happens to be the main objective of the game, but it's only the first part. The rest we'll have to discover later. The intro of Dark Souls 1 sets up a new world by showcasing multiple important events in the world's history, and also gives us enough information to understand the basic premise of the game, while also purposely withholding some of that information to give us a reason to seek out said information. One thing we need to consider though is our character's motivations. Why even bother making the trip to Lordran, the Land of Lords? Well, what else is there to do? It's the end of the world and you were just given the keys to your cell, allowing you to explore the world to your heart's content. Even if you're convinced that life is doomed and the world as we know it will disappear for good, why not make the most out of it? Have some fun, kill some hollows, It's a whole lot better than rotting in a cell. With our objective laid out to us thanks to Oscar, we can now set out to Lordran and ring the bells. Technically the first area you're meant to go is the Undead Burg, but one wrong step and you can make it to New Londo. Out of all the Souls games, Dark Souls 1 will provide the best blind playthrough, as due to its connected world, players will go in different directions and in turn will create different experiences. New Londo is actually a late game area, since the enemies here are quite strong and the boss at the end of the level is quite tough, but you may stumble upon this area by accident within 5 minutes of arriving. This is due in part to Dark Souls 1's level design, which may have the best level design in the whole franchise. It's been coined as a Metroidvania, a genre that started with the games Metroid and Castlevania. These games have non-linear progression, as many areas can be accessed right away, but others can't, causing the player to go around the map looking for the key, then running back to that same location. Such as this door that leads to Havel, which can only be found in the Dark Root Basin past a boss. The door is found pretty early on in your playthrough, the key is found much later, plus you'll also have to remember where that key goes. You'll be doing lots of running in this game. The highlight of one of my play sessions was going from Blighttown to Andre because I forgot to ascend one weapon before a boss fight, meaning I had to take a 3-minute walk up to him, then a 3-minute walk back down. In future titles, this would be remedied by fast travel, but Dark Souls 1 doesn't have fast travel initially, and even when you do gain the power of fast travel via the Lord Vessel, it's not the typical fast travel we're familiar with, as we're only allowed to travel to specific bonfires. These decisions further immerse the player into the world as it's all one connected level, and since they're all connected, it means you can see certain levels from different places, such as Blighttown, which is visible from Firelink Shrine. So not only was the level design of each area taken into account, but also how the levels connected to one another and how this connection would affect other areas. Regardless of where you end up though, whether that be New Londo or Undead Burg, the very first enemies you'll come to see are these hollow men, like the ones back in the asylum. All the undead we see here are humans who have lost their humanity, causing them to go hollow. And now since we are human, we should go hollow too, however it's a bit more meta than that. Hollowing is a bit hard to define as everyone can go hollow for different reasons, but the two main ideas seem to stem from constant death or a loss of purpose. Given that our character is set on ringing the bells, he never goes hollow despite being undead, as he still has a purpose. Should the player quit and uninstall the game, they would lose their purpose, so permanently quitting the game is sort of like hollowing in a sense. I don't think everything needs to be explained with lore, so this is more than likely just a gameplay mechanic, but that's how I've interpreted hollowing. On our way to the Bells of Awakening, we'll come across various different locations, but sadly there isn't a whole lot of backstory involved in their creation. Locations like Undead Burg are just undead settlements, and the Valley of Drakes is just a valley filled with drakes. The only exceptions though are Ash Lake and Blighttown. Blighttown is next to a location called the Depths, and at the end of the Depths is the Gaping Dragon. And while an interesting boss, what's more important is the arena. We can see water coming from the depths and going into the sewer system, which leads to Blighttown. According to various keys in the game, we can piece together that those who previously lived in the Undead Burg but were banished from the settlement were sent to Blighttown as punishment. This is reinforced by the giant door that separates the sewer system from the outside world. But this water from the sewer is poisonous. Well, in Blighttown there's a spell called Poison Mist, and according to its description, it seems that Engi, this egg-bearing individual, may have caused this as he was the creator of the Poison Mist spell. It's not fully confirmed that he did this, but it's clear that Blighttown isn't in the greatest state. And it's due to the circumstances surrounding Blighttown that the townsfolk seem to have built above the water in hopes of getting away from it. This is a common theme in these games of things being built on top of one another, as we see Blighttown above the swamp, the depths above Blighttown, and the Undead Burg above all that. The idea of pushing things down and leaving them to fester is also a common theme within this game, but not everything is in such a sad state. As at the lowest point of Lordran, we see Ash Lake, a seemingly infinite land filled with arc trees that are surrounded by an equally infinite body of water. For the purposes of Ash Lake, this seems to be where the dragons used to live, or at least one part of it, as it's eerily similar to the environment in the intro, which we do know was the land of the everlasting dragons. We can even find one of the few remaining dragons down here in Ash Lake. He's a part of the Dragon Covenant in-game, and from various descriptions, it seems like many people worship the dragons and tried to ascend to their level. It's unclear though if that worked. Once the player feels confident in their fighting abilities, they can approach the bosses defending the Bells of Awakening, these being the Bell Gargoyles and Chaos Witch Quelaag. After ringing both bells, we'll see that Sen's Fortress, a place that was originally blocked with a large gate, is now open. But if we travel back to Firelink Shrine, we'll find a primordial serpent named Frampt. He claims to be a close friend of Gwyn's, and also claims to know our fate.
Very well. Then I am pleased to share. Chosen Undead, your fate is to succeed the great Lord Gwyn, so that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. To this end, you must visit Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel.
Just like before, this second part of the prophecy also happens to be our newest objective, but Frampt is quite a complex character. If certain conditions are met within the game, we can also be granted an audience with Koth. He, however, tells us a different story.
Your ancestor claimed the dark souls and waited for fire to subside, and soon the flames did fade, and only dark remained. Thus began the Age of Men, the Age of Dark.
So it wasn't just the fact that the fire was fading that caused Gwyn to rekindle it, the flame actually went out. Furthermore, despite being the same species, both Frampt and Koth have different views on the world. Frampt wants to keep the Age of Fire going, but Koth wants to usher in an Age of Darkness. The question is, who do we trust? Well, that's up to you, as these are the two endings of the game. Extinguish the flame or rekindle it. The choice is yours. What is important to note, though, is their motivations. Why are they doing this? Why are they against each other? Well, we still don't know, and it's been a widely debated topic that hasn't been given a proper answer yet. Regardless, I don't think you should trust any of them. Frampt claims that the undead curse will be cured if we link the flame, but this isn't correct. As we'll see in Dark Souls 2 and 3, the curse is still present. Frampt and Koth are like politicians. They say what needs to be said, but never said. By technicality, the undead curse will be cured when we link the flame. As we know, the dark sign only appears when fire fades. And if it's not fading, then the curse of the dark sign is gone, which means the curse goes with it. But it will eventually come back. Things are meant to run their course, so over time the fire will fade again and the curse will come back, just not in our character's lifetime. Frampt, whether intentional or not, is leading the player to believe that the curse will disappear permanently, when indeed it only just disappears for a few thousand years. But Koth is also lying, as he isn't fully explaining what this Age of Darkness entails, and as we'll see, Koth isn't exactly the nicest person in the Souls universe. I've always seen these two as immortal beings, ones that are ageless, and due to this, when the time comes, they like to move the pieces and see what happens. Koth and Frampt are basically playing a long game of chess, but without the stakes. Regardless of who wins, they both get good. One just managed to convince the Chosen not to do more, so why not cause a bit of chaos? A lie or two here wouldn't hurt anybody, or just keep extra pieces on the board for them. To this day, we still don't know what they really want from us, and whether the goals they conveyed to us are genuine. My interpretation of these could be wildly incorrect. But that's the beauty of these games. They allow you to shape your own story and create your own adventure. And in my story, I don't trust these two. Regardless of who you believe, the one thing they agree on is that we need the Lord Vessel. Thus, we need to get to Anor Londo. To get there, we'll need to pass through Sen's Fortress, a place filled with deadly traps and is easily the most infuriating area in the whole game. The fortress is also used as a sort of trial, as this leads us to Anor Londo, but many people have tried and failed to get there. This is of course due to the numerous traps throughout the fortress and the Iron Golem at the top, although he was surprisingly the easiest part of the fortress. Once the Golem is defeated, we are then grabbed by these demons and taken to Anor Londo. It's hard to forget your first time in Anor Londo. Nothing up until this point has been more extravagant and beautiful looking than this place, and that's what makes it so memorable. In a world devoid of beauty and color, there's this incredible place that just exists, but it's on the other side of the wall. But something is off. It feels empty, like we showed up late to a party, and in a more metaphorical and literal sense, we have. This place is gorgeous, but if you'll excuse the pun, it's also quite hollow. Lots of your time in Anor Londo is spent walking, but if you manage to make it past these giants and exploit the AI of the Silver Knights, then you'll make it to the climactic fight of Ornstein and Smough. O&S is undoubtedly my favorite fight in Dark Souls 1. The balance of these two is unmatched, as Ornstein is a quick, nimble fighter that can go halfway across the arena just to hit you, but his damage is nowhere near as staggering as the force that is Smough. Whereas Ornstein instills fear from his speed, Smo's fear comes from his power. Ornstein at the beginning of the fight is more or less a pushover. He does deal decent damage, but it's not enough to warrant a healing item. But no amount of damage resistance, especially this early on, could protect you from Smo's hammer, and one hit from this hammer can make Ornstein seem a lot more threatening. Their power grows from the other's presence, as the more Ornstein chips at your health, the closer you are to being within one-shot range of Smo, and if Smo hits you once, well, there's nothing that can compare to that level of stress. They feed off each other in such a balanced way. In fact, they actually feed on each other, as whoever falls first becomes the power source for the other. Their health also goes back to full, so it's never about dwindling them down over time, it's committing to one and sticking with it. The problem is knowing when to strike and how. Given how well they complement each other, it might seem like there's never an opening, and that's what makes them such a difficult fight. All that's required, though, from the player is patience. It's arguably one of the best fights in the game, and even the series as a whole, and I can finally see why. While ONS may seem like the climactic finish to the level, hold your load, as behind them is the real climax, the Princess of Sunlight, Guinevere. Feel free to interpret climax however you wish. She is the one who gives us the Lord Vessel when we progress through the game, but as I said earlier, it feels like we arrived late to a party. Well, I wasn't lying. Once the post-nut clarity settles in, if we attack Guinevere, the world of Anor Londo shows its true colors, and reveals that it's just as depressing as everything else in Lordran, and the one responsible for this illusion is Darksong Gwyndolin. Gwyndolin is an interesting case to me, as he was the last-born child of Gwyn, who was a male but was raised as a female. This was due to his strong affinity with moon magic. I'm not sure what the connection is, but maybe it's some sort of cultural thing, where the moon is seen as a sort of feminine symbol, which would actually explain a lot regarding a future game and two of its characters. Gwyndolin also created the illusion of Anor Londo to seemingly entice the chosen undead to continue their duty. Remember, Gwyndolin only appears when we kill Guinevere's illusion, meaning that this is actually Gwyndolin speaking to us through his sister. He also shares the same viewpoints as Fremd, which is interesting as he's basically telling us to kill his father and continue the Age of Fire. Gwyndolin seems to want to hold on to the power his family has and keep things running smoothly, which is why he wants the Age of Fire to continue so that his family and their powers can stay. And the reason why he created the illusion of Anor Londo was also to desperately hold on to the past. I guess it runs in the family then. As for how Guinevere fits into this, well, she was Gwyn's second-born child, who, like many other deities, left Anor Londo. She would then meet with a flame god Flan and later become his wife. Besides these two, Gwyn had two other children, but we'll have to wait for Dark Souls 3 to discuss more about them. So Anor Londo, the city of gods, this place that was supposed to be seen as a beacon of hope to all within Lordran, is just an illusion. But Anor Londo isn't the only illusion of Lordran. By making our way to the painting inside this city, upon touching it, we're thrown into the painted world of Ariamis. Ariamis as a concept is fascinating, as it's this world within a world, and these people inside the painting could possibly never know of the world outside of it. From exploring this hidden world, we learn that Ariamis was made for things the gods feared. Ariamis is home to the followers of Velka, and Velka is known as the goddess of sin. Furthermore, this is the only location in the game where you can find the Dark Ember, which according to its item description is used to make occult weaponry. Weapons that were favorable amongst those who planned to kill the gods and their kin. Velka was more than likely someone who wanted to hunt the gods but was killed or thrown into the painting. It's clear that this place has a malicious history behind it, but it's not all bad, as the person who watches over Ariamis is crossbreed Priscilla. Priscilla is a half-human, half-dragon crossbreed. Due to this unique birth, she also gains some unique abilities, mainly the ability of Life Hunt, which she uses on her scythe. These powers of hers could threaten the gods' rule, so they also threw her into the painted world. But what's rather interesting is Priscilla herself. She's the only boss in the game that doesn't want to fight us. She even tells us how to leave Ariamis, meaning not only does she have no intent of enacting revenge, but she knows how to leave yet refuses. Priscilla may have felt how these new arrivals feel, but instead of using vengeance, she uses acceptance, and instead welcomes these people into her painted world. It's actually quite wholesome, and is the reason why I couldn't kill her. Every boss in this game is hell-bent on killing me, so when I finally discovered one that didn't want to, and in fact helped me, I couldn't refuse. So I left, with the hope that Priscilla would be able to make this place a proper home for her people. This whole area is swarming with hollows and other creatures that want nothing more than to kill us, but they were either tricked into here or thrown in because the gods willed it. And yeah, some of them probably do belong in here, but if Priscilla is set on making this place a home for those who have found themselves here, then who am I to intervene? After acquiring the Lord Vessel, when we meet with Koth or Fremd, they'll tell us that to gain access to Gwyn, we must gather the remaining Lord Souls and use them to satiate the Lord Vessel. These Lord Souls belong to 4 individuals: Seat the Scaleless, the Witch of Izalith, Nito, and the 4 Kings, 3 of whom you will have already recognized. From here, we can tackle the game in any order we want, so let's start with the 4 Kings. The 4 Kings are, well, 4 kings who ruled over New Londo. They were given fragments of Gwyn's soul, which is why we need to kill them. You may recognize their boss location, as this is the same dark abyss that we met Koth in. Well, long ago, the 4 kings were tricked by Koth and were consumed by the abyss. This caused the kings to go mad, and this also caused the citizens to either become these blobs of mass or the Dark Wraith soldiers. This area really utilizes the environment to tell its tale, as this place is overrun by the ghosts of the villagers, and when we actually unlock the door to lower New Londo, we see piles of corpses scattered throughout the land. Koth single-handedly destroyed an entire city simply by tricking its inhabitants and unleashing the abyss upon them. While the mass extinction of a city sounds bad, there is still more destruction to be seen. One thing you may have noticed is a severe lack of human bosses. Quelaag would probably count as the first one you'd meet, although she's sort of half-human. But there's a reason for this, as this has to do with the Witch of Izalith. While Gwyn was frantically running around trying to figure out what to do with the flame, the Witch of Izalith had a plan. She was going to create a new flame that would replace the first flame, but she attempted to create a replica in the presence of the very thing that was created, which brought with it massive consequences. The Witch of Izalith wanted to create a new first flame, but there was already a first flame present in the world. There can't be 2 first flames. Due to this, the flame that she created couldn't be contained for long, causing it to erupt, and this not only consumed her and her children, but also created new life, as it gave birth to demons. The Asylum, Taurus, and Capra Demon, roughly the first 3 bosses in the game, were created from this event. In fact, anything that has the word demon in it is most likely derived from this flame of chaos. But not only was new life created, old life was altered. All of Izalith's family who were caught in the explosion were all transformed into demons themselves. Chaos Witch Quelaag, the Fair Lady, and Ceaseless Discharge are 3 of Izalith's children. Just as Gwyn was desperate to continue the Age of Fire in an attempt to keep what he had, so too did Izalith, but the consequences are a reflection of her actions. In an attempt to give life to something bright and warm, she ended up giving life to something cold and dark. She also wanted to extend the Age of Fire in order to continue her prosperous life with her children, but by doing so, she ended up making their lives a living hell. Not a single person in this family tree is living a robust life anymore. Quelaag and her sister, the Fair Lady, are half demon and are more than likely suffering from their condition, as told to us by the Fair Lady.
Quelaag, what is it? Quelaag, my dear sister, the eggs, it hurts. They've gone still. I am afraid it may be too late. I am so sorry, dear sister.
Ceaseless Discharge was covered in lava source and birth, so his life was a living hell from the start. The Flame of Chaos just made it worse. Ceaseless Discharge, just like Priscilla, doesn't actually want to fight us. It's only until we steal this clothing set that he attacks us. This clothing set rests upon a grave that belonged to his sister Quailana, who he believes died in the explosion, when in fact she was the only one who escaped. Quailana will appear in Blighttown if the player is sufficient enough in Pyromancy. Quailana explains that she was the only one who made it out of the reaches of the Flame of Chaos. In fact, she was actually able to harness the power of the Flame of Chaos and create magic, which we know as Pyromancy. Quailana wants us to fulfill her duty for her, as she does not have the strength to go on. She instructs us that we need to put down her siblings and her mother so that they may rest in peace. This whole family dynamic is horrific, as Ceaseless believes that all his sisters are dead, even though Quailana is alive. And Quailana is only a few meters from her sister, and yet we can't tell her about this. Clearly, this is turned. Feel free to interpret Climax however you want. She is the one who gives us the Lord Vessel we need to progress through the game, but as I said earlier, it feels like we arrived late to a party. Well, I wasn't lying. Once the post-nut clarity settles in, if we attack Guinevere, the world of Anor Londo shows its true colors, and reveals that it's just as depressing as everything else in Lordran, and the one responsible for this illusion is Darksong Gwyndolin. Gwyndolin is an interesting case to me, as he was the last-born child of Gwyn, who was a male but was raised as a female. This was due to his strong affinity with moon magic. I'm not sure what the connection is, but maybe it's some sort of cultural thing where the moon is seen as a sort of feminine symbol, which would actually explain a lot regarding a future game and 2 of its characters. Gwyndolin also created the illusion of Anor Londo.
I can handle his punches. He's just too fast. Was that basically the story of the fight?
Yeah, he was too fast. Was too fast.
Welcome back to another presentation of the sweet science here on Boxing Legends TV.
I'm gonna knock him out. That's all it is to it, and that's the bottom line.
On today's video, we attempt to tackle an age-old question. What primary offensive trait is the most effective at the very highest levels of the sport?
Now Tapia lands. I refuse to go down, I refuse to lose, and whatever he hit me with, it was not gonna hurt me.
Does possessing swift footwork and blistering hand speed trump maintaining one-punch knockout power? Or does having the ability to finish a fight with a single shot negate any argument between the two?
Definitely. When I went back in my corner, I knew he was right there for the shot. I just had to set it up.
To find out, we've handpicked 25 of the greatest encounters between the most competent speedsters and knockout artists throughout the sport's rich history.
Watch the clock now, Tim. Tammy has nothing left.
Pitching for team.
I knew he was right there for the shot. I just had to set it up.
Now Tapia lands.
Another thief. Fine.
Asmon Gold. Alright, let's do it. It's been a while. I haven't played this character in like forever. Okay. I think volume should be fine too. I think it's in Landell, right? It's like right up at... Where the fuck is it? Altas East. Oh, I think this is it right here. There's 3. There's one in Limgrave too. Okay. Well, let's go to the one in Limgrave. Yeah, where is it? Let's travel to here. You need to go to all 3 Colosseums to lock all 3 modes. Okay. Let's try this out. Okay. Let me just make sure I still know how to do it. Yep, okay. Alright. We know what we're doing. North? Okay. Let's go north. Alrighty. Tried this out. Big bonk. Yep, that's it. Okay. So... is that something new? No, I don't think it is. For a second, I thought that was a player. Where is it? You can see it on the map. It's a big circle. Okay, let me try to get out of combat then. Okay. It's a big... Oh, that! Oh, okay, yeah, I'll go over there right now. Put a mark on the map. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I didn't realize that's what you meant. Fuck. I remember this weapon made so many people mad. It was actually really fun to play this game the first time. For that exact reason. Okay. So this is the Colosseum. Let's see what happens. I think, is it closed? Go left? Okay. Sure, why not? Oh. Oh, shit. Alright, let's do it. So this is it. Limgrave Coliseum. To engage in combat with other players, touch the effigy of Marika in the Colosseum. United combat and combat ordeals can be undertaken in this venue. In United Combat, 2 teams of fighters clash. Combat ordeals are all-out brawls in which every combatant is out for themselves. Okay. Inter-Coliseum combat. And what's this? You don't have the right? Oh, you do. Okay, very fucking fun. Inter-Coliseum combat. Combat ordeal, 2 combatants, spirit ashes prohibited. Coliseum password, venue Limgrave Coliseum. Okay. I'll probably win this game. More than 2? Well, let me just try. I want to just try the first one, okay? Okay, it says all combats have been How the fuck? Okay. Okay. I got his ass. Fuck yeah, I beat him. Now what? Who's this? Wait, what? Huh? Why does he fucking... Hey, 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 hey. Okay. He's dead. Do I get a heal back or something? He a dead ass, good. Fuck! How the fuck did that hit me? Okay. Got him. I'm almost dead. I'll use this thing too. Okay. Holy shit, I'm destroying this guy. Yeah, I was worried I was like not gonna go very well. Shit. Okay, alright, so we got me. So this guy's just getting fucking wrecked though, right? Fair enough, yeah, that's fine. Got me there. Alright. It's okay. I know what he's gonna do. Focusing. How the fuck did that not hit him? Oh, he would have been dead. He'd have been dead. He'd have been dead, 100%. That was easy. Well, this guy got destroyed. Yeah, that guy got just fucking annihilated. Holy shit, I'm a god. Okay, so 2 combatants, 4. Okay, let's do 4 combatants. Let's see what this is. Still on low MMR? Wait, you think there's an MMR for this? No way there's an MMR. There is? I don't know, we'll see. I mean, I'll go to top MMR pretty fast. Like, trust me, like, it's like, this is what I do to them, right? I jump and then I attack. They never expect that. The reason why they don't expect that is, like, they don't expect somebody dumb enough to do that. Oh, there's 4. Wait, what? Pikachu? What the fuck? So what is he doing? Okay, he's dead. I was not, dude. I was not. Bro, I was not even close. What the fuck was that? Wait. Okay. Got him, got him, got him. Got his ass, got his ass. Okay, alright, that's fine. That's an easy GG. There we go. Alright, I got 3 eliminations. Come here, Pikachu. Bro, they're teaming. They're all teaming. Oh my god. That's me, that's me, that's me. Hey, hey, that's me. You can't do that. Got him. How? 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 Nah, bro, like... What? Got him, Pikachu down. Bro, this is fucking shameless, man. This is so fucking shameless. I'm getting focused by like 3 people. This is so dumb. One shot, Pikachu's having fun. I'll have fun if I'm winning. Alright, you're fucking, alright. No, we're gonna kill him. We're gonna kill him. You get him. I'm dead. I hate this. I killed one of them. I'm fine. This is okay. It's not very effective. It's 3v1. Alright. No, it's fine. I don't mind that. I actually prefer 3v1. It's easier that way. Fuck! This is... Hey! Okay. Got him. Next. fuck. He's doing it. He's doing it, isn't he? Shit! Okay, okay, okay. It's time to die. Got him. Hey, 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 hey. Cock, man. Okay. Let's do it. What the fuck was it? Stalemate. Yeah, I feel like this guy was the best. I wonder, can it tell me how many people like a Pikachu? Bro, I hate Pikachu, man. Do threes? Okay, let's do 3v3. Let's try that. I'm trying each one of them. Combat format. United combat. Okay, all right, let's do 6, and we'll see what happens with 6. Way to go, Cockknocker. No, he was not that good. His Pikachu was getting me. If it wasn't for Pikachu, I'd have won. They should show a leaderboard. I don't know if they show one of those, but it seems like they don't. You chose 6 free-for-all? Okay, well, let's try 6 free-for-all, then we'll try United Combat. How about that? Yeah, I'm gonna try every single one of them. We're gonna see how they work, okay? Oh, this guy's an idiot. I'm gonna kill him. What the? Fuck! No, no, not you. What? There it is. You dick sucker! You dicks! You fucking dicks! Red guy? I'm gonna take out red guy, it's okay. Okay. This is fucking disgusting. Pikachu! No! Pikachu! I'm so... Bro, is he doing it again? Don't backstab him. Oh my god. Fucking got you. That's what you get. I'm fine. I'm totally happy about that. It's totally okay. He's dead. Yep, we're fine. The roll? My roll was perfect. Ooh. Ooh. Wait, no. No. No, you don't. Oh my god, what is this spell? Jesus, look at Pikachu. Okay, here we go. Wait, is that who I think it is? Just a minute. No, not you. Leave me alone. He killed both of them. Oh my fucking god. I actually got outplayed by Pikachu. I cannot fucking believe that. Okay, red guy. Here we go. take out Pikachu. No! He's ulting! He's ulting! There we go. All right. Ult canceled. Okay. All right, we're gonna spawn camp Pikachu. Wait, never mind. We're gonna kill these guys. Got him. What the fuck? Okay. Oh my god, where's the prop full shield builds? You want me to do that? I can go and try my full shield build if people want. I'll try it after this. Actually, let me do a few more. Got him. Literal trading god. That's how you play the game right there. What? How did that not hit him? Oh no. No. I got him. I won! Holy shit! I actually fucking won! Wow! Damn, I'm pretty good at this. This is impressive. I'm impressing myself with how good I am. Wow. Look at that, dude. Oh my god. Alright, now I want to try one more 1v1. I want to try another 1v1. And then I'm going to try the, I'm going to try the team games. 0 rewards, and what's the point? It should give some souls or something like that, I agree. Do 6 as team? Yeah, we will. Shield build? Okay, let me do shield build after this.